Wait a second. Hold on. This doesn't sound right. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay, what's going on? What's going on? Nice. I like it. Hail to the chief, my man.
There we go. That's better.
So for you fine folks out there, podcast land, I was a little worried for a second. Wilson practically disrobed himself, and he became Wilson, and then he turned into America. He's wearing the Donald Trump fight shirt after he was shot in the air, and he has a "Make America Great Again" hat, which is a cool hat because it's camouflaged, and an orange, an American flag on the side. I like it.
Yeah. 45, 47 on the other side.
Oh, I like that. And they're
Is it funny that it's not a comma? It's a dash.
Dash. Oh yeah. And the funny thing is what even more American, he had his good old firearm next to him, and I'm pretty sure that
you saw that too?
Yeah, my friend. We're gonna be like Crowder now. We're just gonna have it just sitting like in the background, just chilling.
Should put it up on a stand or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a gun. It was a colostomy bag, folks. Come on. So
this is so much better now. I can like sit back and.
Oh yeah, he's got his microphone back from California, which I thought was Australia last time.
Yeah.
And but welcome in, man. Real WTH Show episode 120. Not a whole lot has happened since we last recorded, right?
One of the greatest things ever has happened.
I mean, some would say it was a tsunami, a giant wave of red that just flooded America. I mean, too soon, for some of us.
I saw a lot of things. People were just posting pictures of the election map.
Oh yeah.
And like not state by state, but like county by county. So it was, if you look at it that way, it's pretty much all red.
Oh yeah.
And somebody said, I heard red light makes you sleep better.
Yeah. So I saw a meme today. I was getting my oil change today, and I was just going through my phone. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with Seinfeld, but there was a scene in it where I can't remember the exact what it was, but like I want to say fried chicken or something like that. But Kramer had like this big red glow coming from his house and or his room or apartment. And Jerry opens the door and the whole hallway is lit up red. And Jerry's like, Kramer, what is it? What is it? And or he says like, Donald, what is it? What is it? What is it? And he's like, America, Jerry, America. Because the whole thing's lit up red. Fantastic though. I liked it. But man, we got some cool topics today, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot to cover.
Historic topics.
Yeah. And some are pretty serious. And some are
oh shoot. I just thought of something.
Well, cool thing is, Wilson, we are recording, so you could just talk away, buddy.
No, it's something bad that's gonna happen if you remember. But we'll see if you remember.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You getting that backwards vasectomy?
No.
They just
like that.
They add like a straw piece in between the two parts that are snipped. So we have like a whole new format here, right? Like we have a whole new way of doing things. Last time we talked, we had like funny openers, then we had the beers and cheers and all that stuff, and then we started going into the different topics. And we haven't made a sound clip for this yet, but all I know is, Wilson, do you have a W.A.N.G?
Dang it, that's the thing that I forgot. Now I have to tell you, no, I don't have a W.A.N.G.
So Wilson gave us this idea of replacing beers and cheers with W.A.N.G of the week. And so I can either have a W.A.N.G or he can have a W.A.N G, and W.A.N G is what a nice guy. It's an acronym.
Yeah, I have no W.A.N G this week because I forgot. He's busy doing other things.
He is going W.A.N G-less today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his name is Jace for the rest of the day. But I got one. And we have, I mean, we've all heard about, what happened in um, Eastern Tennessee and Western North Carolina with Hurricane Helene and all the things that went through there. But it's actually multiple wings. I have multiple wings today, Wilson. I'm kind of a freak of nature. But the first one is NASCAR.
I mean, I love myself.
Oh, wow. Bringing old school sound clips back.
Uh-huh.
Nice. I was like, virtual Tommy, where's he at? I mean, I do have 2 wangs today, so I do love myself.
Yeah.
But NASCAR champion in like Craftsman Series, Greg Biffle. During Helene, as we all saw, the government really slacked, I guess we could say, on helping those people. And granted, it's hard to get back to some of those places, but Biffle has a helicopter, and
Yeah,
and he's like, you know what? I'm going to fly my own helicopter and help these people out. And he got on the horn with, like, I'm not sure if he spoke with Elon Musk himself or whoever, but he got a bunch of like Starlinks. And he's like, I'm just going to fly them in and out of there so people could like hook their stuff up so they could call for help and whatnot. And he was delivering food, just multiple trips. And I thought that was cool because what we saw was people depending on themselves and not the government during that time. And they were doing almost a better job. Shocking, right? Which is why there's also another W.A.N.G. I don't have the guys' names, but there was like a group of like, I want to say like 10 or 15 surface miners from West Virginia that went down there. And surface mining is, I could be, taking it, making it seem simpler than it is, but it's literally cutting out the top of a mountain and mining that way. You're not making a cave. And so these guys their job is to cut off the top of a mountain and mine. Why don't we just cut off through all this stuff and make roads? And they did that. They just went through with their equipment, drove it down there, and then went through and made some roads. And apparently the government in North Carolina said, no more of that. You can't do that, which I think is garbage. That, we can't help ourselves, but we have to rely on the government, which is funny because that's kind of where this current administration, I guess you would say, is leading us, is to rely so much on them during hard times rather than on our fellow neighbor. But yeah, those are the 2 W.A.N.Gs that I have today.
Okay.
So
those are some good W.A.N.Gs.
Yeah, some of the best.
Yeah.
This almost reminds me of that sweaty wiener.
Sweaty balls.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's other people involved in that. I do know that Dale Jr. I didn't see him a whole lot in California, but out here you see him probably driving through the country. They're like these big plastic tote looking things with like a metal cage around it, and they usually have some sort of liquid in them. They shipped a bunch of those full of water to Dale Jr. did on a semi out to that area. So that, I mean, the list goes along. We'd have too many W.A.N.Gs for one day. I mean, one's enough, right, my guy?
Yeah, we gotta save some for later.
Yeah, save some for the people. So over this past week, we'll start with the fun stuff. I went to the Xfinity 500 down there in Martinsville, which was fun. It was the playoff cutoff race, which we Kyle Larson, he lost. So
hey, he almost won.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That race would have been 20 laps shorter. He would have had it.
Right. But I'm telling you though, like, I was sitting there, I was with my buddy Cody, and we're sitting there, and he took a picture of me, and I'm just like my face. You tell him I'm stressed, like big time, because I want to. Not every time I go, half the time I go to like a baseball game or a football game or whatever, my team loses.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this could be the time I get to see my driver actually win. And then Chase Elliott took over, and then Cody and I had our phones out at the same time, and we were checking, like on the NASCAR app, it shows you like tire wear and fuel mileage and all that stuff. Then his friend texted him, and he's just like, Blaney has the fastest car right now. And that doesn't shock me. The last playoff race I went to there, Blaney won. His car was fast. I knew nothing about what was going on in that race with the Chevys, Ross Chastain and Austin Dillon blocking for William Byron. I didn't know anything while we were there as a person in the stands.
But they played the audio from both radios. Definitely sounded like one of them wanted to block.
That would be Dillon.
When they played the audio from Chastain, they didn't say anything about it. No deal, no nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
So I
looking
don't.
looking back at the video, they're clearly blocking, right?
They are,
But
but there is a point when Chastain tries to pass
yeah, yeah.
and
And
he doesn't make it. So
but what was weird is I knew nothing about that while being there because we were in turn 4, which was right where Christopher Bell did the wall ride. Um, we were right there, and the pylon with the video is kind of further down between 1 and 2 on the other side of the track, and I couldn't really see who was leading at the time and all that stuff. And if you've ever been to a NASCAR race, the only time you really could kind of sort of tell who's leading is at a green flag restart because it's
yeah,
like the first car. Small tracks like Martinsville, they end up kind
merging.
of all over and merging and then lapping everybody. So you kind of lose track unless you like know
Yeah, I think
who.
there were only like 18 cars on the lead lap or something
Yeah, it was kind of hard
out of
to
36 or something.
36, 37. I can't
Yeah,
remember how many it was, but and then last year I brought in my headphones, like my little earbuds, and I put my little cans over it so I could listen to MRN radio while or uh the crew chiefs and everything. And I'm like, I'm just gonna hang out with Cody this whole time. But if you ever go to a NASCAR race, it's so loud,
yeah.
you can't talk.
Actually, you can hear that because Hendrick posted Kyle Larson's dyno the other day on Instagram from
Oh,
like
really?
this past week. Yeah, and you can tell like even it's just on Instagram. That thing is loud because they
Oh,
have it
yeah.
right next to it.
Well, what was cool was when Chase was leading. Like I said, we were on the exit of mid turn 4, coming out of 3-4, and then I could look straight down the 4-1 straightaway was where we were sitting. And when you heard Elliott coming down from 2 to 3, and then right when he comes up to hit his brakes, dude, it sounds like a jet engine, and those brakes are red hot too. It
Yeah.
was still kind of during the day, so I wasn't really able to see the rotors actually glow, which I was kind of bummed about. But
Oh, I could see him on TV.
and see, that's the only bad thing. On TV, you can see some things, and then in person, you see a lot more things too, such as especially on short tracks like Martinsville. Dude, those cars, they're not touching the track on the turns. Like they are so loose and sideways. Like Tyler Reddick, like he is fun to watch at Martinsville. The dude is just like swinging it around, and you can't see that on TV as well. But it was a great race. My guy did not win. Blaney won.
So
And
this is the thing that bugs me. Yes, I like the playoff style, but sometimes I do not think that a win should get you to the next round because we
oh,
had the bottom two people get to the next round because they won, and Larson, who's won 6 races
6.
this season, did not make it because he got wrecked in one and then had a tire go down in another race. Like I don't think it. I think it points at that point should have a lot more to do with it than a win.
Believe it or not, Denny Hamlin has his own podcast, and he agrees with you. He's like, how is the guy who's won the most races in this year not in the championship for?
Yeah,
Now,
like that makes no sense.
no, go
It's
ahead.
even I think a win and you're into the initial playoffs is sometimes not. I mean, it didn't matter this time because we had quite a few spots where people made it in by points to the initial top 12.
Right.
But
Now,
you'll get some people who like a random like everybody on like a overtime restart crashed in the front, and then some guy that was like 15, 16 spots back that randomly made a good pit choice ends up getting in. That like I don't think that's right.
I mean, that's kind of like a Harrison Burton type thing,
Yeah, yeah,
a freak win. But
yeah,
now, Kevin Harvick's podcast, which is excellent, he had an idea, and I thought this was a good idea. So you have the race champion, like the regular season champion.
yeah,
Now, that would have been Larson if he actually made the Charlotte race this year without the rain delay from when he was doing the double.
yeah.
Now, it went to Tyler Reddick. So, how about you do this. It's the regular race champion makes it into the final four. Second place in the regular season goes in the final 8. And then the third place goes in the 12, and then the fourth place is the 16 or whatever.
That makes sense.
That way everybody is racing super hard for the playoffs.
Regular, yeah.
And then so the only person who is guaranteed is the guy who wins the regular season championship, and it puts him in the championship, which would have been Larson. Therefore, you're going to get you. I think would make the racing better. They would be they would fight harder for that top 4.
Yeah.
And none of this winning your end stuff.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
So the regular season is only points based.
Yeah.
And then I think what would happen is in the playoffs, I think it would go strictly points all the way to the final 4, I think is how he was saying it. It made a lot of sense. I was like, wow, I've never really heard of it that way, but that makes a lot of sense because, you have your regular season champion. Yeah, that's cool to be and everything. But at the same time, you're like, and our regular season champion is in the final 4, but it's just like, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. No. Like in the end, you want that Bill France Cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of people probably have no idea what we're talking about because 90% of people probably don't even know that NASCAR has playoffs.
Right. And what's funny is I've only been a fan for a few years, and I just got immersed in it so much that like I know it was funny. Like I'm not sure if I sent you some pictures. I met some drivers. I met Joey Logano. I high-fived Alex Bowman and all that. I heckled Denny Hamlin and I told him he sucked when he went by me. But dude, I was like taking pictures with like the NASCAR news guys, like the guys that do like the Fox Sports. Well, that's how I'm like, yeah, dude, it's Greg. It's a Bob Parker's there. Oh my gosh, cool. Check it out. Bob, photo. He comes up to me and he goes, it's not every day I take pictures with Hamlin fans. And I'm like,
what?
What? Like, dude, my shirt said Hendrick Motorsports on it, and I'm wearing my Larson hat right here, with the 5 show. And I'm like, bro, I'm not a Hamlin fan. Like, okay, but I just kind of went, I was like, what are you talking about? But, I'm kind of a nerd on those things. But I haven't told you this yet, but I want you to. So a Martinsville hot dog.
I know about these.
I know you know, but I know you know about them. So it's basically a pickled hot dog. So it's bright red. Like, have you ever seen a dog? A male dog when it gets really happy. Yeah, it kind of looks like that.
Red.
Yes. Yeah. It kind of looks like that. You've had plenty of dogs. We've seen them. Chili, onions, slaw, and mustard. Okay, they're only $2. So when you're in line to like get these, people walk out with bags of them.
Yeah.
How many did I eat, Wilson?
I don't know about this. See, I was thinking because there's the hot dog stand over there, right?
So the hot dog stand, the picture you see, it says the hot dog stand. That's in the infield.
Yeah. I thought that's what you were going to mention because a lot of people don't agree with the all the way dog and what's on it.
That's what I had, the all the way dog.
Oh, and you had everything on it?
I had everything on it because I don't like slaw, but I had everything on it because the last year I went, I go up to the stand.
Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. Awesome. New microphone's great.
What was it though for the folks?
No, it's still going right now.
What is it?
It's the washing machine is going crazy on spin cycle.
Oh yeah, I should have got an LG, buddy. Anyways,
it's way better.
So last year when I went for this, which is funny because the same exact race last year, Martin Truex Jr. was on the pole and Ryan Blaney won. Same exact result. It was kind of weird. But I went up in the stands and I asked my wife and daughter, I'm like, hey, you guys hungry? I'll get some hot dogs. They go, yeah. I'm up in line. We're sitting there. I'm watching the race on the TV. And I get up there and the guy goes, I'll take 6 Martinsville hot dogs. He goes, oh, we're all out of buns. I'm like, what? I'm at this point, I'm starving. I waited in line long. I'm well, how much is for the dog? He goes, I'll give them to you for free. So I'm like, oh, sweet. So he hands me 6 hot dogs of these red glowing things that look like they've been nuked, And I'm sitting there walking out of the stands. They're all flopping around. And the look on my wife's face when she saw it, she's like, oh my gosh. And I'm just eating them. They're pickled. It's like pickled hot dogs. So they're salty. Now, the all the way dog, like I said, it is full of chili, onion, slaw, and mustard.
I think.
Yeah. And so I walk back with a bag. okay, to my seats. I'm all happy. It is right at the start of the third. I think something happened to Truex. I think Truex wrecked or something. I was getting in my seat, I think, right when that happened. And right when I sat down, I think Kyle Busch lost his tire, was right when it was.
Okay.
I'm about ready to take my first bite. I'm like, oh, look, he's lost his tire. Rowdy's going to be mad. But how many do you think I ate?
I'm going to say, wait, out of the 6?
The 6. Oh, no, that was last year.
Oh, okay.
So this year, how many do you think I ate? But this is just me.
I'm going to say 4.
Mama didn't raise no wimp, baby. Those gotta get those numbers up, son. I did 7.
7?
Yeah,
Full hot dogs with bun and everything and all the way?
everything. And I'm sitting here thinking I did some sort of miracle, right? I'm like, oh yeah, no one could touch this. Then I listened to Corey LaJoy's podcast. The pit crew guys, apparently down there somewhere by the hot dog stand, they have like tally numbers of one dude. Some guy who's like a tire changer
talked about this.
did like 22.
Yeah.
I think his name was Big Country or something like that. Well,
yeah.
Because those guys are like football players. So they're huge. I'm like, dang it. But I will tell you this.
Most of them were football players.
There was a record that was broke during that race with me and the Martinsville hot dogs.
Most times to the bathroom?
No, least. Oh. I kept 7 Martinsville hot dogs inside me for 24 hours. They did not upset my stomach, my man. I was surprised because that's like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from my house. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna suck. And dude, solid, good stuff.
Nice.
So thank you, Martinsville, for not making me crap my face. But yeah, it was cool meeting the drivers. Like I said, I went out there with Cody and I will tell you this much. So as a kid, I went to Giants games all the time, and I'm not sure if you went to Giants games when Barry Bonds was playing.
Yeah.
But I just remember being in left field and just being a young kid and be like, Barry, dude would not even look at me.
No.
Just a complete jerk, not even look at me. Joey Logano, who I'm not a huge fan of, okay? Final Four championship driver. He's a great driver, okay? Dude came up to me. He took a picture with me. He was signing autographs for people. He even went to the driver's tent where they have a driver's meeting before the race. And there was this family running. They all had Pennzoil jackets on, a whole family. And they were yelling, Joey, like that. And we were even yelling for Joey to come back because we wanted this family to meet their driver. He's like right there. You don't have access to the big guys all the time. And he comes out of the tent, takes a family photo with each member, then a group of them, and signs autographs. I'm like, dude, that's what I'm talking about right there. So, like, he made some like strides in as a, like, I don't want to say I'm a fan, but like as just being a human, like that day by seeing that. With that being said, Larson didn't even look at me, but I'm still a fan. I mean, he's the greatest driver in the world. So,
yeah.
He drove by and I'm like, young money, and just kept going. Then when Denny went by, I'm like, you suck, Denny. Then also I hear everybody, Denny, you suck. Everyone flipping him off. I'm like, dang, that guy's hated. I'm like, and then when Bubba Wallace was getting introduced it was just the loudest boos ever, but it was a fun time, dude. It's such a great sport. And since this is being recorded now, by the time this comes out, we'll already know who the champion is. I want to get your opinion. Who do you think is going to win Sunday?
I want to see Logano win.
Really?
Yeah.
Over Byron?
I mean, if Byron won, I wouldn't be mad. But I want to see somebody else get to that historic, like, 3 championship.
The big number?
Yeah. Because there's not that many people a lot of people have gotten 2. Not too many people have gotten 3 or more. So.
Right. So the 4 drivers, the first one in was Joey Logano. Then it went Tyler Reddick. Then it was basically Ryan Blaney. And then the 4th one, we weren't sure who was going to be because at the end of the race, Christopher Bell, if he just would have passed Bubba and not Walred, he would have been fine. But he decided to gun it and into the wall, which I was sitting right there. The TV doesn't show it at all, but man, there was so much stuff flying off that wall.
Yeah. And
there's
you can hear it on his in-car. That I think that's what got him right there was the in-car camera. You can hear him hit the wall, and then you hear the RPMs just jump up in the camera. So you can tell he's flooring it, and that is the definition of wall riding. So
And most of the times when you hit a wall, they just lift and they just, sorry folks who don't know, you lift your foot off the pedal.
yeah,
They just, because usually a
you
flag
lift. You want
comes.
to get away from the wall. You don't want to stay on it.
Yeah, a
So
lot of people. I mean, places like Talladega and Daytona, you'll wall ride for a while, just for a little bit. That's expected there, but it's
yeah,
not like a sharp turn like at Martinsville. Right there at Martinsville, right when you come out of 4, that's where the gate's at, and there's like a little um over, like a little walkway that goes up. That's where the trucks come through. That's where everything comes through. So that gate is like there's a weak point there. That's why you don't wall ride right there.
yeah.
But so they weren't quite sure who. When I left the race, I didn't know who was that 4th place spot. So it disqualified Christopher Bell, who's a great driver. But
Yeah.
It put William Byron in. So again, last year's race, Ryan Blaney won, Martin Truex was on pole, Byron barely made it in. This race, same thing. Martin Truex was on pole, Ryan Blaney won, William Byron barely made it in.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I want Byron to win because I like Hendrick. I think Blaney's going to take it. Blaney
I
is
hope
fast in
not.
Phoenix. Blaney is fast in Phoenix.
I hope not. I don't want to see him win again.
However, it would be hilarious if Reddick won, because the Bill France Trophy would have to be get handed to 2311, who is in turn suing NASCAR.
Yeah, I don't want that team to win anything. So
I don't want to win. I like Reddick. I don't like the team,
yeah,
but I think it would be funny. I'll be like, oh, it's hilarious. And
yeah.
I'm definitely not a fan of Michael Jordan at all.
No,
Everyone's like, oh, he's a great basketball player. Okay, cool, but he's a horrible human being.
yeah,
Like, but so you got Blaney and I got Blaney, you got Logano.
yeah.
Either way, we're going for Penske, I guess. What was you gonna say? Um Now, you and I are both playing fantasy. I believe at this point there's no way you can win,
No.
because you
And
can't.
you know what? I don't know if I'll play fantasy again, just because I go too much with how I feel instead of like the stats.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like, I'm
And
like,
like all the matchups, because in fantasy you like pick your 5 drivers in your garage driver, and then after that it gives you like 5 different matchups of like, will this person finish higher than this person? But there's 5 different ones of those, and on those every time, if Denny Hamlin's on one, I'm not picking him.
it's a Denny Hamlin.
I don't like him.
It's a Denny Hamlin or Kaz Grala. I'm like, you know what? Kaz is
Yeah.
a solid year. I think I'm gonna choose
Yep.
Kaz. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
we know Hamlin's gonna win it. I'm the same way. I'm the same. That's why I'm playing fantasy football right now, and I don't watch football, so I'm literally only going off numbers.
Yeah.
And our whoever loses has to get a spray tan. Like, I'm talking orange, like Trump. And
Trumps is
I'm
natural.
I am second to last, so
Oh,
there's
you're
a good
close.
chance your boy might be looking a little orange, here at the end of the season. But before we get into the I guess you'd say the main topic, I'm going to tie in this to the main topic. So last night, let me back that up a little bit. So maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, Kamala was in, I believe, Wisconsin. She was doing one of her speeches. One of her cackling coconut tree. And then somebody yells out in the crowd, what was it? Jesus is Lord.
Oh
And
yeah.
she says, you're at the wrong event. Okay. Keep that in mind. That was Wisconsin. So there is a Craftsman Truck Series driver who drives the Ford number 98, who named Ty Majeski. He lives in Wisconsin. He's currently being fined by NASCAR. I think it was $1,200 or $500, because the final 4 drivers in each series. So you have the Craftsman Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. The final 4 in the Craftsman Series, they had to do what's called Media Day. Well, he missed Media Day because he had to fly to Minnesota or Wisconsin to vote. So he's getting fined, which I think is funny and kind of probably illegal. And I think he said, yeah, if I knew I was going to be in the final four, like I would have just done absentee, but I didn't know. So I, went up there to vote. So he gets fined. And he is from Wisconsin, right? He won the Craftsman Truck Series championship last night. And that's also the same state where I believe Trump just dominated in and threw him over in numbers. So I just find it funny that comment that she made really backfired.
It did. Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you say something like that? And immediately after she was playing Damage Control, dude, she was like, she went to like a church and everything. I'm like, no, you said what you said.
Yeah.
And then I just thought that was funny. The tie-in with Wisconsin with Ty Majeski winning. So it was like Wisconsin won, Ty Majeski wins from Wisconsin. I thought it was a cool tie-in. So the election. How stressed were you Monday night?
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No.
You're a liar.
No, I wasn't. Like I was pretty much positive that she was terrible enough that people weren't going to vote for her. I thought it was going to be closer than it was.
Yeah.
But I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Let me try that again.
Come on, man.
That sound clip is not working.
Yeah, it is.
Was it really?
Yeah, I just made you think it wasn't.
all I heard was man. I didn't hear come on, man.
I heard it all.
Oh, okay. Sorry, folks. I heard it twice. That was a goof. But I'm not gonna lie, I was a little stressed out just because, and I know the media is one thing to say something is bigger than it is or worse than it actually is. And I went to bed and I was like, man, it's looking pretty good. And this is the thing that was weird. When we voted in California, there was times where we voted, we already knew who was winning because the polls close out here earlier than out there. And all of West Virginia was red. We knew I think one of the first states called was West Virginia. And, it was just funny because the whole night, you would hear the pundits like, oh, it's close. Oh, it's close. I'm like, no, it doesn't look close, at all. But it was, I don't know. It kind of makes you think about in 2020, there was all these votes and supposedly Biden was the most, popular person ever, more popular than Obama. And there was like 80 million votes or something like that. And those votes aren't here this time.
No.
Makes you wonder where they went.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's because of COVID. Everybody was inside and everybody got an absentee ballot. So more people vote. No, it's not.
No.
You still have to turn that absentee ballot in.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't, or somebody found it and did it for them.
Right. And hopefully this works. But you know what Donald Trump did Tuesday night?
That's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
That's what I'm talking about. But I read it somewhere.
But you will die happy.
Was that me?
Yes, it was.
What was I talking about?
I have no idea, but I have a sound clip of it.
Man, you found some good ones. So when Donald Trump hasn't taken office yet, so I think he takes it over January 6th?
Yes. No.
Like
20th, right?
20th. Well, what was January? Why was everyone talking about January 6th last year?
That was the riot.
But didn't that happen on the inauguration day?
No, that was on the certifying of the electoral votes day.
Oh, okay. So the 20th. Okay. So he is not even in office yet. And I believe this is true because it's from a lot of sources and even left-wing ones, but like apparently like Hamas is like calling for peace now.
For peace, yeah.
All these people are like, we'll do business with America because we don't want those tariffs. Everybody is like afraid of Trump, which I'm kind of stoked about. and it's going back to where I think it should have been, because we've had such a weak administration for the past 4 years, man.
Yeah.
So weak, allowing, I'm all for immigration legally, and as I think everyone is and should be, but there's a way of going about it, because, and they do this, what do they call it? Not catch and release. It's like, where they're overrun down on the border, right? And they say, hey, you want your immigration status? Oh, it's when they're filing for asylum. And so they get put in like this queue, right? And they go, we'll come back at this time and you'll have your meeting, blah, 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 blah. Dude, those people don't show back up. Once they're in the country, they're in the country. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in January, the changes that's going to happen. And all these people saying he's going to start World War III, blah, blah, blah. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I'm like, the second term was not promised, but his first one was. And if he wanted to do it, he would have done it during his first term.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird that people keep saying that. And then I would like to know personally what rights women think are getting taken away. Because everyone's like, they're taking away women's rights. Well, I would like to know which ones. Because as far as I know, there's none.
No.
It's just like these scare tactics that they're constantly doing. I'm also afraid. And I haven't heard much of rioting and stuff. Like, at least if there has been, it's been because the Dodgers won the World Series. But I mean, go figure, right? But I think I wouldn't put it past his current administration to do some real mischievous things towards the end to make it literally a nightmare for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it wouldn't come down to that, because that it's not making it a nightmare for Donald Trump more than it's going to hurt like actual American people,
Right.
So unless they're just heartless and really terrible people, I don't think anything will happen.
I mean, I wouldn't put anything past this current administration right now at all. And as far as I believe his chief of staff or whatever is a woman that he just so if he hates women, why he do that? I believe all of his press secretaries were women. So I just kind of would like to know where they're coming from. And granted, he says things that are off the wall that are crazy.
Stupid, uneducated women, though. So
well, yeah, that's right.
That's all he hangs out with.
Yeah. Well, the ladies that he's hung out with, I'm pretty sure are completely smart. I would love to see Tulsi Gabbard be part of his cabinet at some point. And everyone's sitting here and saying, like, I normally don't get in arguments on Facebook because it's pointless, but like some lady just kept pointing out, like, oh, he hates women. Oh, but he hates women. It should be a woman versus a woman. And if it goes to the White House, because men, I'm like, hold on. What did you just say? It should be a woman versus a woman, because that's not fair, Amal. Yet your party is fine with men and women's sports.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like, if you think it should be like that. I'm like, I mean, I get it. Like, my dude won and everything, but you, just because you put in a bad candidate, and mind you, you didn't vote that candidate in, that was put in for you.
Yeah.
So that right there to me seems more fascist than anything he's ever done.
They should be more mad at the DNC than the result of the election, because they didn't choose her.
Right. She had like no votes. Same thing with Biden. There was no votes for Biden. There was votes against Trump. No one was like super hot about Biden.
Yeah.
Just like no one really cared about Kamala. And I know I'm saying her name wrong, everybody. I'm saying it wrong on purpose. Because of the whole Montel Williams thing that came out. Her name is Kamala. Say Kamala. Nah, I'm good.
Say your name, Joey.
No, not gonna do it. But now, weeks before all that, Biden was doing like some sort of town hall thing, maybe at a Denny's or a local Bob Evans or something. Who knows? But he was doing something, or his basement. I mean, it could be. I saw a fishing rod up there on the wall, but someone gave him a MAGA hat.
Oh,
this dude puts it on.
Yeah.
And then parades around like, hey, look at this. I'm like, at that moment, I'm like, this dude I don't know. Part of me thinks he was sabotaging her run for presidency. I heard rumors that Jill Biden and Kamala did not get along at all.
Probably. I don't think anybody would get along with either of them. So
Oh yeah, they're both horrible human beings.
yeah.
But when he put that hat on, I was like, oh my gosh, really?
So I got a question for you. You know the terminal list, right?
Yeah, the Jack Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read any of the books?
No, I haven't read the books. I just seen the movie with Chris Pratt.
So he's got 6 books out now in that series. This latest one just came out in May, which is before the election, before all that, right? And before they announced Kamala being the nominee as well. So right, because she didn't get announced until like 3 months ago, correct?
Something like that. And that was their other thing. They're saying that she didn't have enough time to prepare.
Okay, so in this book, the presidential race is coming up. The previous or the president now is like, oh, that person's gonna run. They're gonna win by a landslide. Blah blah blah. It's a Democratic candidate too, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this one who's in office says, I'm not going to run again. So that opens the door for a lawyer from California to run instead. And that lawyer from California is going to California and talking to the idiot governor of California. It's like he painted this whole picture of the like what happened now in this book. I mean, the election in the book, I don't know if it happens during the book. I'm only like a little ways through it, but it literally, like, he has Kamala running in his book before any of that ever came out. And he's talking about the governor of California starts listing off these things like, oh, you're trying to make a run for the White House in the future because you're going to China and taking pictures on the wall and all this stuff. And
Life imitating art.
Like our shows.
Yeah. Life imitating art, man. It's crazy. And then I just heard that, Governor Newsom is like planning on suing the Trump administration already. I'm like, dude, like, just stop. Like, they're going to, and that's the other thing too. They're going to be constantly trying to sue this guy during his presidency and take him away from what he needs to really do. They're not going to find anything on him. No. And then I'm so tired of the comeback of, oh, a convicted felon is in office. I'm like, you know what? Okay. One, I believe he was indicted. He wasn't convicted, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, which means he still has to go in for all that. And 2, I mean, I could be wrong, right? He wasn't convicted. He was just indicted, right?
I don't think he was convicted. Actually, I think he was convicted.
Okay, well, regardless, okay, that doesn't change my view on it, because at the same time, all during 2020, I saw on TV everyone burning down cities and praising a convicted felon by the name of George Floyd.
Yeah.
Who beat the crap out of his pregnant wife or pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think the dude deserved to die, but he was a convicted felon. But everyone holding this dude on a mantle as some sort of like role model, and made statues out of him. Do I think Donald Trump is a role model for men? No. But he's the right person who we need to for our country, to run it like a business, to say it like it is, to literally not be afraid to say anything.
Down to in the end is America, like the government is a business, and it needs to be run that way, or else we're going to have stuff like we have now with the inflation going up 30% or whatever in the last 3 years. I mean, people can't live this way. This is unsustainable.
And I listened to the 3-hour podcast with Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. It was fantastic, and it was funny.
Which was also offered to Kamala, by the way. She did not.
She went on that sexy one.
Oh yeah, call her daddy.
Yeah, she went on that one. But it's Trump, when he was on that, he was very what's the word, like himself. felt comfortable around Joe Rogan. And, he would go off on his Trump rants and stuff. And Rogan reeled him back in. And then he wasn't afraid to be like, no, I kind of disagree with you on this and this. But towards the end, you could see that he's just like, wow, like, no, this guy's legit. The JD Vance one is what really fired me up in a good way.
JD Vance, he's going to be a good president because I think he's going to get elected in 4 years.
That dude, I mean, has a mouth like a sailor. That doesn't bother me. But dude, he has their vision that they had. Normally politics and stuff stress me out. So I kind of, during the election is when I listen to it. But other than that, I kind of fade away. But like their view on like going after big pharma and all this stuff. And then especially like their, what was it? Make America Healthy Again. Dude, I'm so for that. Like all these things that are in our food that are illegal in other countries.
Did you see the comparison between who Biden picked for Department of Health and who Trump's picking?
What was it, that dude chick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Trump's got RFK.
Yeah. RFK, who has a voice I can't stand. But it's better than a dude talking like a woman, I guess.
But he's like close to 70, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he looks good for that.
Yeah, he's freaking jacked.
Stacked, yeah, dude. That dude, yeah. I mean, speaking of Martinsville hot dogs, that dude's jacked. Here I am eating 7 of them, dude. I can't. Has nothing to do with wieners, guys. Come on.
I wanted to put something, but I'm not going to put that in the show.
Why? Why not? You afraid?
Because.
That's a throwback to when Handy was on the show. If I remember correctly, when we made that clip, weren't we recording and he fell asleep?
I don't know, maybe.
And then we asked him a question, and I'm like, "Hey, Handy, Allison's like, because he's like, and I'm like, dude, we got to clip that. But yeah, I mean, I'm stoked the way the country's going right now. I mean, not right now. It's gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't see it getting any easier on the Trump assassination things. I think it's gonna be
the only good thing now is like if that happens, I think Vance is competent and will be able to handle everything. Like,
yeah.
Like if something happened to Biden, it would have gone even more downhill.
Oh yeah.
If Harris would have got in.
Right. My buddy,
I don't feel that way with Trump and Vance.
My buddy Kenneth sent me a thing. Hopefully the volume doesn't play, but it was funny. It says it's a video of a dude who almost looks like what's his name from Yellowstone? What's his name? The dude with the glasses of the beard. Rip. Looks like Rip, and he's walking down. It's in Nashville. This is probably right near where you are, actually. He has like a dog, and it says RFK Jr., the CIA killed my dad and my uncle. Donald Trump, want to be their boss? I thought that was funny, but you might know exactly where that's at. I'm not sure if you can see that video. It's got to be somewhere near where you're at.
I don't know what that says. That sign.
Nashville Gifts, Nashville something city.
Huh.
I don't know.
It's probably on Broadway somewhere.
But yeah, man, it's I'm excited to see, like I said, Tulsi Gabbard, who, going back to them putting a candidate in, like, dude, they picked the worst possible person ever. Yeah. Like, Tulsi could have gotten Republican support.
Yeah.
Like, did they not think that through? And I know the reason why. The reason why they put her in is because the way it works is Biden gets all this money donated to his campaign. I believe they call it the war chest.
That's another thing. Remind me once you're done with your point.
Okay.
Come back to that.
So he gets all this money. If he drops out, all that money has to go back to the donors. If the vice president steps in, she gets to keep all that money. That's why people like George Clooney, who donated a ton of money to Biden, never got their money back. And then that's why I think all of them are saying, yeah, we're going to vote for them.
That's the thing. she only gets to keep that money if he has been nominated. That's after the DNC. She came in before that. So that's the thing. What she did was illegal. So before they were saying, oh, she gets into office, it's not going to matter. But now she's not getting into office. So they can actually go after her for taking all that money that was not hers.
And the other thing, too, apparently, like the Saturday before, she went on Saturday Night Live. And there was a thing where I think NBC has this equal airtime thing where each can, and then she got more. And then I think they came out and said, oh, we'll give you more airtime or whatever. He's like, the election's over.
Yeah.
Like, try again. Like, you know, I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that was fishy about this. And I don't know how it was when you and I talked about this a little off the air, but in California, when we voted before I left, it was still you circle in with a pencil or whatever pen, like you're taking a test, like, you know, fill in the bubble, and then it scans it, and then that's all I saw. Scan it. Out here, it's a computer screen. They give you a little Q-tip, and you touch your little your person, and then you could review it again. Okay, Donald Trump. Okay, this is who I voted for my governor. Blah blah blah. Go down there, and then it prints it out. And on the back of that, when you hand it to the person, you look at the back of it, and it literally says Donald Trump, all this stuff. But when you hand it to the person, they can't see any of that. They see a bunch of like QR code type looking things, and they scan it in, and then they staple something with a receipt, and they give you your I voted sticker. Yeah. I'm like, so I know that when my thing went in, it was Donald Trump, but I was seeing things where these guys were touching Donald Trump, and it wouldn't like touch, like it wouldn't take, and all of a sudden, like after the fifth hit, it lit up Kamala. Like, and this is why I vote early, just because I want to avoid lines, and I'm usually really busy on Tuesdays as it is. But this is why I think absentee is a bad idea, because people who are voting absentee, they had those ballot drop-off boxes. Well, I sent you that text that night in Oregon. They're lighting them on fire. Like, how do you regulate that? Like, you really can't, right?
No.
I mean, you're not going to post a guard at every box, unless when you have a drop-off box and the drop-off box is only at, like, say, the courthouse.
Yeah.
But then again, what's to stop someone from burning down a courthouse? I saw what happened in Minnesota in 2020.
You would have to post people at drop boxes to just watch them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And granted, it's Oregon. We know how they're going to vote. Washington, if you look at the map,
that's the thing,
the coasts.
It's the big cities. The big cities vote for everybody. Even though, like, I know in California, like my whole county's red. Right. There are some blue people there, but it's
Smurfs.
Yes.
Nice.
But like I don't think, I don't know. It makes me mad that that's what happens. Like it was this close still, but you see all this red everywhere. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Like, how come those people who are in these little niche areas get to say what happens where, you know, the entire middle of the country's red? So you get to say what happens there.
And that's the thing. People, when I first moved out here, they thought I was liberal. I'm like, bro, definitely not. And I'm like, everyone thinks that all of California is like that. I'm like, man, just like everyone in California thought, and like, oh man, do you surf? I'm all, nope. No. Do you know any movie stars? Nope. You know, it's not as glamorous as everyone thinks it is. And not, I mean, granted, California's awesome.
Ryan knows movie stars though.
Does he really?
Yeah. Basil Boss.
Oh yeah. That's right. We got to get him on. But it's like, friend of the show, Basil Boss.
Yes.
Joey Logano, friend of the show.
Oh, you should have asked him.
Yeah. Will you be a friend of the show? And he's all with his little cackle he does. But there's a lot of people that stayed in California during one of my friends, Dane, that dude drives down. I don't know how he hasn't been like firebombed yet for reals. Like, but he has like the biggest Trump flag, Blue Lives Matter flag, every flag that's pro everything I'm for is hanging back of his truck. And he'll drive right down the middle of, like, you know, Sacramento. I'm like, dude, go get him, Tiger. I'm like, out here, it's very rare do you see a Harris, fan. And it's funny that one of my buddies, his name's Webb. That's his last name. His parents were really big fans of Charlotte's Web, mainly Babe the Pig, but besides the point. He sent me a message, I guess, out here and everywhere else, because he works in a government setting in a hospital. So, and my buddy Cody works in a college setting as a teacher. So very liberal institutions. And people are going to want to wear these blue bracelets to show their solidarity for their party. And then people are going to wear red ones for theirs. I'm like, one, I don't want anybody knowing. I really don't care what people know about me voting. But I'm like, I told my wife last night, I go, it's kind of like a Crips and Blood thing, isn't it? Like, you go to LA, you're going to get shot, because I'm like, is your identity tied up so much in who's running our country? And when I election night, I was running a food truck. I've still been doing that. And first thing that's funny is before we even opened the food truck, we were preparing the dinner for everybody. My wife was outside and people started lining up outside. We're like, oh man, like we're going to have a line tonight. It's going to suck. And then they're all, is this where it's at? And we're all, this is where it's at, like that. I'm cooking. And then, people were like, why do we have to wait to vote? Wasn't everything open like at 8 or whatever? And they thought we were the voting booth.
What?
Right. No, we're doing food. The voting booth is on the other building over there. So then they came back and got food, which was funny. But what I told my team that night, I said, we all know how I vote. I don't know how anyone else votes. I don't care how anyone else votes. Two things. I never once wanted Biden to fail. I did not vote for him for his policies, but I wanted him to be the best president possible. The difference between conservatives and liberals is the fact that they want Trump to fail. They don't want to see him be the best person for everybody because they just want to be right. And that's the problem. Like and I said to the guys or my team at the end, I said, if Kamala wins, we need to pray for that she is the best president possible. I don't think it could happen, but God could do anything. I mean, we saw, I'm not saying God is or Trump is God or all that stuff, but dude, if he turned his head 3 more centimeters to the right or left, that bullet went through his brain, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and you tell me, I think the gun was an AR-15. Like, dude, you tell me, like, dude, that's how the heck did that happen? And everyone's all, yeah, seemed to be a lot of blood there for his ear. Maybe he put the blood there himself. Well, have you ever cut yourself shaving?
Have you ever seen a head wound before? Yeah.
But especially on the ear, like, have you ever accidentally scratched your ear? Dude, that bleeds forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anything up here, it bleeds a lot.
Yeah. So I'm just, our podcast isn't going to be all political all the time now, just because. But we had to address this one,
Yeah.
But we got a lot of stuff planned.
And I think we would have talked about it either way too.
Yeah, this was big. This was big.
Yeah.
I believe we talked. I think if we go back to 2020, I think we talked about Biden coming in too.
Yeah, we made some predictions that happened too.
Yeah, and we still. I got to find that paper. There was a paper.
Oh yeah, I want to go over that.
I would like to do that coming up within the next 1 or 2 episodes. A long time ago, I was here when we did it. I remember that. It was what was it called? Like the Signs of Socialism,
something like that. Yeah.
And it was all these things like your country's going to be so this was written like, gosh, World War I, II, before II, like that, like all these predictions of things that happen to countries before they become socialist countries. And dude, we were just ticking things left and right. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I want to know if it's worse right now.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, maybe a couple of years from now we could look back at it, see what it looks like now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I swear I have it over here somewhere because I saved it because I remember you sent it to me and I was like just astounded by it. I was like, dude, there's no way that that's happening in my country. But I think that's all I have, man.
That's it.
we do have plans to go live. We were going to take this show live. We ran
I
into
just can't figure out what's happening with this live thing.
the live thing worked. It was running live, but
our audio stuff didn't work.
The audio wasn't right. It was sounded like it was. If I was telling Wilson,
our voices were good, yeah.
Yeah, all voices were fine, but
voices were good. But any of our like
sound
intro
clips,
music, sound clips, didn't sound right.
And I told Wilson, I'm all, do you remember back in the day when you had Winamp on your PC, and it would be like a song that you're playing? Say you downloaded a song from
downloading Napster
or LimeWire, and you're playing it through
yeah.
Winamp. It sounds like it's being played through a tin can, and it would like cut in and cut out. We couldn't quite figure it out. So, but we did figure out a few other things while we're doing it. But that's gonna be fun, and you guys can interact with us through a chat feature on the side while we're recording. And we'll try to give you guys like heads up on when we're gonna do it. But yeah, man, I think that's all I have for today, brother. You got anything? You gonna go work? You working tonight? You working any shows?
Heck no.
Yeah. Who is our newest friend of the show? The most famous one.
Most famous?
Oh, I would say Danny Carey from Tool.
Well, yeah, but I didn't even talk to that guy.
Yeah, he's a jerk anyway.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to tell people about stuff like that.
That they're jerks?
Yeah,
I will. I
won't, because don't meet your heroes type of thing.
Yeah,
I know that if I talk about some people, it's going to crush people.
Oh yeah,
it will, because there's some people who I was like, there's no way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wilson was working a show, and Dolly Parton walked by, and he's like, "Hey, Dolly," and she looked at him, and she just like,
she gave me the middle
finger. She said, "Don't talk to me." That never happened. No, Danny Carey. Well, he got arrested for in Atlanta, I think, a year ago for like resisting an arrest or something like that. So he's a jerk. He was drunk though, so it's okay. There's your heroes, everybody. But so
who's the most famous though?
You meant like what? Clint Black? No. Not Clint Black. Who's the other guy? The guitarist. He played with it was during the AMA Awards.
I don't know. Oh, I met Nathaniel Rateliff.
I have no idea who that is.
Are you kidding me?
Is he the Harry Potter guy?
No.
Oh, it's Daniel Radcliffe.
Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats? You've never heard of them?
Are they metal? The Night Sweats.
They're Americana.
That's gross. See, I hear Americana, I think like a mariachi band.
No. How is that American at all?
Well, right? That was my thing, but Americana with the A at the end. Ay. No, you had you had Brad Williams.
Brad Williams. Yeah, he was cool.
The little guy.
His team was kind of but
he was
cool.
But there was a band that just played that you said you really liked them and they were super
Shane
cool.
Smith.
Yeah, Shane Smith and the Snakes.
Saints. Yeah.
Saints.
Shane Smith is super cool.
Yeah.
His whole band, everybody, they're cool, and all the people that opened for him, because they were here that wasn't it. The 8 people, that was Jason Isbell. They were here 3 nights.
Name dropping. Here's name.
No, 2 nights.
That was Garth Brooks. No, that was a different night. That was Tay. Sorry.
They were here 2 nights, and I think they had 2 openers every night. So 4, I think. I don't know, but all the people who opened for everybody with that show was cool.
That's always cool, man. Like when I did work for Live Nation, Lil Wayne was cool, but dude, his like posse he's with were jerks. His like personal bodyguards.
We partner with Live Nation.
Like they're like, hey man, that guy filming right there, like 20 rows out, you need to stop him. Have at it there, Jamal. Like this dude's like built like a linebacker. You want me to go out there and tell this guy to stop filming? Yeah. Dude, how about you hop over there and you tell him? He's not going to listen to me.
I think this script has flipped on that type of thing for most artists, because now they know people do that and it gets posted to social media. They get more publicity. It's free publicity.
Well, what was it? The band Ghost, who I actually like. I mean, I don't believe their message, but they are a really talented band. They're doing a world tour, and I've seen them twice. And they're doing the whole thing where you have to lock your phone up in a bag.
So we do that mostly for comedy shows.
They make
Because-
you lock them up in a bag?
Yeah.
Really?
Because most of the time those comedy shows are like a Netflix special or something where they're
Oh.
recording it and they don't want it getting out before they release it.
See, when I went and saw Ryan Hamilton in Lexington, Kentucky. He has a Netflix special on obviously on Netflix. But it's called Happy Face. It's hilarious. He opened up for Jerry Seinfeld. Super funny guy, super clean comedy. They said no phones or whatever. And I wasn't going to film it anyway because I want to be in the moment, you know. I mean, I took a picture of like the empty stage and I put it away. That was it. And no one else had their phone out. It was amazing. But I could see how it could be distracting, definitely.
Yeah.
But
most of the time for us, the can't like pictures are okay, but they'll say no recording.
yeah.
But how am I supposed to know if somebody's not just holding their phone up trying to wait for a picture, you know? Like I'm not going to walk up behind them and look and see, oh, it's recording, you know? Like
Yeah.
most people don't care. It's either no phones or they don't care.
Yeah. Well, my buddy Cody, I tease him all the time. He's going to hear this and he's going to hate it. But, you know, he went and saw Taylor Swift in New Orleans. And I was giving him a really hard time because I'm like, dude, she's a socialist and everything. And he's like, dude, bro, I know. I'm like, but you're going to support her, whatever, Swiftie. But we've all seen like the videos of her shows. It looks amazing. The effects look awesome. But there was a thing that I never saw. So there are things that you would see like through the phone and on the stage, but there's things that you won't see that are happening around the stage, such as they have like these little bracelets that light up like LEDs. And he said at some point they all lit up and it looked like a snake going around the entire like stadium.
Huh.
Well, so that's something I never saw on there. So it's like you're getting a surprise still when you go to it's not like, you know, when you film, you're giving away the magic of it.
Yeah.
But I do remember back in the day when I would take pictures of concerts, I would sneak a disposable camera, but I put it down my pants, like in the crotchal region, folks, because they don't pat you there.
Yeah.
And then, and if they did find out, I would just throw it away. No big deal. But there's no way to enforce that now. Your job isn't cell phone Nazi. You're not going to walk around, you know, you have other things that are more important that you're dealing with. But yeah, man, I got to get down there and catch some shows. Maybe give me a backstage tour. It'd be kind of cool. You know,
I do that every night when I work.
I know.
Give myself a tour.
I get really jealous. You're like walking. I'm like, oh look, there's a drum set. That's sweet.
Yeah,
that's nice. Wish I could made better decisions, everybody, and been a touring rock band. But whatever.
I think one of the coolest people I met though was the first person I met when I got here.
Ryan?
No.
Your dad?
No, the first celebrity.
I'm having a hard time remembering who that is.
It was in the middle of the night. Well, early morning, like 3:00 in the morning. And Goldberg showed up at a hot dog stand.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the driveway at my work. 3:00 in the morning.
You guys have good conversations?
Oh yeah, brother.
Different guy.
Well, still talk. They all talk the same way.
He's like, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna get this hot dog.
He I don't know if he was putting a voice on for talking to us, but he sounded the same as he always has.
I'll tell you one thing though. Goldberg could not take 7 Martinsville hot dogs, that's for sure.
I don't know. He stayed out there for like 30, 45 minutes just eating hot dogs.
He just had to go to the bathroom. Yeah, no. I'm calling you out right now, Bill Goldberg, hot dog eating contest. Let's do this. I'll give you my address right now. Find Wilson at the Ryman Theater every night of the week.
Auditorium. Get it right.
Ryman Auditorium, whatever. Seats 50,000 people.
No, 2,400.
Yeah. Or just find him at this year's Winter Jam there, like a mile down the street. And
that's like across the street.
Oh my gosh, you Tennesseans. Like it's a mile.
Get it right.
Whatever. I drove through that city. It was scary.
All right.
So, all right, guys. Well, we'll catch you later, or catch you on the flip side. Ben J.
What? I'll talk to you then, or I'll talk to you whatever.
Another time.
Sometime.
Jobin.
Okay.